Hello, welcome to Matt's Game Room, and here we have a piece of my Seven Samurai collection. I know lately we've been doing a lot of 10mm with the beautiful Wargames Atlantic 10mm Samurai collection, but I wanted to take a step back into more of my roots actually. I started with larger scale, with 28mm. We'll take a little look through my 28mm Samurai collection, specifically a piece of it, my Seven Samurai collection, which I built around one of my favorite films, Akira Kurosawa's Seven Samurai. And I think there's no better place to start than with the eponymous Seven Samurai. The movie, of course, famously black and white, which means that there's not a lot to go off of for the color selection. So I had to pick from a couple sources when I did that. And the first is this set of toys that have been released in Japan that, from what I understand, were based on the actual costumes themselves. And that's a set of the Seven with Kurosawa himself and the film crew. And they give a decent understanding of what the colors should be. And second, and my recommendation for folks out there who want to try and paint them themselves, is the studio painter for the same set, Kev Dallimore, who actually does a step-by-step guide on how to paint them, which is available on the North Star website. But I wanted to make sure that when I painted them, they stayed extremely vibrant, which samurai tend to be. So sometimes, especially with the peasants in this group, I did some shortcut methods where I would do things like use contrast paints or oil washes, things like that. But for the Seven, I wanted them to really pop and be as colorful as I could get them. So I kind of resorted back to the most intensive method for painting them, which is really detailed, layered painting combined with some wet blending and just a lot of attention to making sure that the color blends were as smooth as I could get them, and that they all had their own unique kind of look to them, so they were really easy to pick out from one another, and I hope that I accomplished that. So first up, we have the wise leader, Kanbai himself. Next up, we have his loyal deputy, Shichiroji. Then we have the jokester of the group, known in the film for making the flag, Heihachi. Then we have the kind of all-rounder, Gorubai. Then we have the lovebird and rookie, Katsushiro. Next up, we have the taciturn badass, and that's Kyuzo. And last but not least, not really a samurai at all, but still belongs with them, we have the wild card, and that's Kikuchiyo. And we have the banner that unites them all, that Heihachi makes, and you'll notice that it has 6 circles for the 6 samurai, and a triangle, because Kikuchi, of course, is not a samurai at all, but he still fights like the rest of them. Next up, we have the bandits, the villains of the Seven Samurai. There are 40 of them, no small feat to paint all 40. I've chosen to paint only some of them as cavalry, because I think there weren't so many horses, honestly, in reality, and there are a lot of games where that would unbalance it. And in terms of how I went about painting them, I made sure that they were super diverse. My idea there in their colors and how they look is that they're kind of stripping the dead to take their equipment. Some of them are probably deserters from different armies. So I want them to all be lots of different colors, all of the colors you'd expect to see from medieval feudal Japan. I made sure to include as many of them as I could think of. So they're just a riot of color. They're all over the place. And to get that diversity, I had to work with a lot of different manufacturers to make sure that there were a lot of different looks in the army. So to start with, we're looking here at these 4 in the front. The one on the right, just as a good example, is from the Test of Honor range from Grey for Now Games. is a samurai or a Ronin with a yari. He's charging forward with a spear. Next to him, mounted, this bowman, is a Kingsford miniature, and he's standing in as a mounted samurai, which there is one bandit sort of leader in the movie who has a bow he uses from horseback. Next up, the bandit leader himself is a great example of where the majority of them came from, which is the fantastic Perry Miniatures range. And then next to him, we have another North Star miniature, which is some kind of leader in this case, and he is meant to be the bandit leader from the North Star range. When I was working with these, the actual start for this collection was a lot smaller than what we have now. I initially just wanted to build a collection for the war game from Osprey, Ronin, and it's meant to be a really small scale game. I think the larger size for that game is something like 20, 30 miniatures. And I started painting up more bandits, and I got to the scale of around a Test of Honor game, sort of a middle scale skirmish game, and I still didn't quite have the scale I wanted, so I added even more. So next up we have the Peasants, the majority of the characters, I guess, in the film. For them, I really was more interested in doing kind of realistically drab colors, because they're not a rich village, which is an important plot point. So they're kind of all over the place in terms of their armaments and stuff, but the actual colors on them, very drab, very muted. Still a lot of color anyway, because it is Japan. In the front, we have a representation of the diversity I had to use to get a different look for many of the peasants. On the right, we have a Perry miniature, which is where the majority of them came from. To his left, we have a North Star miniature, part of their bandit set, ironically enough. And then to his left, the Smith is from Test of Honor from the Grey for Now Games line. Here we have the village elder, and he happens to be the miller, and he's the one that the peasants go to for advice when they realize they're going to be attacked by bandits, and he's the one who advises them to send off for Ronin, who will be hungry enough to come and help them for food alone, because they have no money. Then I have a couple of models from the Perry Miniatures line that are a lot more unusual, but I just couldn't resist adding them and painting them up. The first one here is the Kamuso, and they are a very unusual looking model and person. They're a wandering monk, usually on a pilgrimage, who has sort of forsaken their self-identity. They choose to be selfless by wearing a mask so that they can gain no fame, and they play a flute as they wander on their sort of hermitage. Last here we have a Yamabushi, also a Perry miniature, and the Yamabushi are Japanese mountain ascetic hermits. So they live in often solitude. This one has some Buddhist sort of symbols on him, and they will wander off into the woods and the mountains to pray and gain enlightenment. For the terrain, I think I have the most diversity of anything. So I have a large combination of 3D prints, like the well and some of the small things like barrels and crates. I have a fair amount of stuff, especially the smaller scatter terrain, that's from a great single-person manufacturer, Oshiro Models, and some of the gravestones. I have other gravestones from, I think, Plastcraft Studios. And the houses, which are the bulk of the physical terrain, are a combination mostly from things from the basement. I think I have a few from Sarissa. In total, I think I have something like 10 different structures. The actual village, if you look at it in the map that they show in the movie, has something like 30. And my intent is to be able to have enough of the village to be able to split the village into 3 separate parts and game different sections of it. I think one of my big takeaways from this is that one of the things that I originally envisioned and kept in mind when I was building this collection was how can I use it for more than one thing? Because I knew I really wanted to do Seven Samurai, but I knew that my feudal Japan gaming adventures didn't really begin and end with Seven Samurai, and I wanted to be able to do other things with it, especially in 28. I've spent years, really, at this point, building this collection to where it is now, and I knew that I didn't just want to kind of tie a ribbon on that with Seven Samurai and call it a day. So I wanted to make sure that anything I did with it, I could port over and expand out in all directions. So if you want to see other collections from us, we have just millions of them. Mark especially has whatever you probably want to see. He's got World War I, he's got American War of Independence, he's got Colonials, he's got World War II, he's got a huge Napoleonics collection, he's got Flintlock, which is weird Napoleonics, if anyone wants to see that. Honestly, just name it, we probably have it, and we'd love to show it to you. Remember to comment, that's where we'll see and be able to talk to you guys. We read every single one we get, even the mean ones. And remember to like and subscribe. It really supports the channel, helps us push out to other folks who might like to see us too, and just helps us give you guys more content, which we really love doing. So remember folks, we're gonna be launching our Patreon soon, and we'd love for you to join us on that. Your support means a lot to us, and it means that we can keep making videos like this for you folks. And with that Patreon launch, we're gonna be running a campaign with these miniatures, where we're gonna play out Seven Samurai, and if you are a Patreon member, you're gonna get your own character in the game, and you can see how you do live or die, running in cowardice, fighting till the bitter end. Whatever your guy gets up to, you're gonna see the whole thing, and we'll tell you who you are and how you do. So we hope that you will join us for that. So just to finish off, thank you for joining us. It's been great showing you my Seven Samurai collection, and we'd also love to hear in the comments what you guys have been collecting. What's been your mini-year project that you're really proud of? So with that, thanks again. Hope to see you soon.